If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. The present is theirs, the future, for which I really worked, is mine. Our virtues and our failings are inseparable, like force and matter. When they separate, man is no more. The day science begins to study known physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence. My brain is only a receiver. In the universe, there is a core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration. I don't care that they stole my idea. I care that they don't have any of their own. What one man calls God, another calls the laws of physics. Invention is the most important product of man's creative brain. Be alone, that is the secret of invention. Be alone, that is when ideas are born. The scientists of today think deeply instead of clearly. One must be sane to think clearly, but one and think deeply and be quite insane. I do not think you can name many great inventions that have been made by married men. The spread of civilization may be likened to a fire. First a feeble spark, next a flickering flame, then a mighty blaze, ever increasing in speed and power. If your hate could be turned into electricity, it would light up the whole world. The individual is ephemeral. Races and nations come and pass away, but man remains. The feeling is constantly growing on me that I had been the first to hear the greeting of one planet to another. There is no more intense emotion than the one we feel when we see the results of our own creations. Peace can only come as a natural consequence of universal enlightenment. Science is but a perversion of itself unless it has as its ultimate goal the betterment of humanity. Most persons are so absorbed in the contemplation of the outside world that they are wholly oblivious to what is passing on within themselves. The scientists of the future will not only study physical forces, but will also explore the forces of the mind. To know each other, we must reach beyond the sphere of our sense perceptions. The desire that guides me in all I do is the desire to harness the forces of nature to the service of mankind. Instinct is something which transcends knowledge. We have undoubtedly certain finer fibers that enable us to perceive truths when logical deduction or any other willful effort of the brain is futile. The future will show whether my foresight is as accurate now as it has proved heretofore. The human being is a self-propelled automaton entirely under the control of external influences. There is something within me that might be an illusion, as it is often the case with young, delighted people. But if I would be fortunate to achieve some of my ideals, it would be on the behalf of the whole of humanity. The progressive development of man is vitally dependent on invention. Though free to think and act, we are held together like the stars in the firmament with ties inseparable. These ties cannot be seen, but we can feel them. Life is and will ever remain an equation incapable of solution, but it contains certain known factors. The spread of civilization depends not only on inventions, but also on the will of the people to embrace them. The day will soon come when the world will look upon energy as the true wealth of nations. There is no conflict between the ideal of religion and the ideal of science, but science is opposed to theological dogmas because science is founded on fact. Let the future tell the truth and evaluate each one according to his work and accomplishments. The present is theirs, the future, for which I really worked, is mine. It is not the love you make, it is the love you give. The greatest minds are often ignored, misunderstood, and ridiculed, but time will eventually prove them right. Antisocial behavior is a trait of intelligence in a world full of conformists. Marconi is a good fellow. Let him continue. He is using 17 of my patents. We crave for new sensations, but soon become indifferent to them. The wonders of yesterday are today common occurrences. All that was great in the past was ridiculed, condemned, and opposed by all authorities, but it emerged triumphant. Nonetheless, the mind is sharper and keener in seclusion and uninterrupted solitude. Originality thrives in seclusion, free of outside influences beating upon us to cripple the creative mind. I don't care that they stole my idea. I care that they don't have any of their own. The gift of mental power comes from God, divine being, and if we concentrate our minds on that truth, we become in tune with this great power. The practical success of an idea, irrespective of its inherent merit, is dependent on the attitude of the contemporaries. We are all interconnected, and our destinies are intertwined like threads in a fabric. It's not the discovery itself that matters, but what it leads humanity to do. Money does not represent such a value as men have placed upon it. All my money has been invested in experiments with which I have made new discoveries enabling mankind to have a little easier life. Of all things, I liked books best. Within a few years, wireless technology will allow the entire Earth to communicate instantly, regardless of distance. The more we understand the universe, the more we realize how little we truly know. In the 21st century, the robot will take the place which slave labor occupied an ancient civilization. The scientists of today think deeply instead of clearly. One must be sane to think clearly, but one and think deeply and be quite insane. My brain is only a receiver. In the universe, there is a core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration. Most certainly, some planets are not inhabited, but others are, and among these there must exist life under all conditions and phases of development. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration.